Well, hello everybody, it's Richard Moore, Mississippi Anti-Gang Stalking Association. Just wanted to touch base with everybody and remind you about our banned, B-A-N-D, database that we're building to initiate federal, civil, and criminal proceedings against organized criminal gang stalking. With that said, it seems that a lot of targets are mystified at where to begin their documentation. As I've mentioned in the past, photographing the vehicles and the people that are stalking you, documenting the times and dates, and uploading those things to our banned targeted individuals victim database that we're building. Now, on a local level, people say, constantly, I'm hearing and reading all this all this, and then all of these conspiracy theories that are intentionally placed in, or attempted to place inside of our narrative to create confusion, to make it very difficult, if not in some cases the attempt to make it impossible to correctly identify who is behind the targeting. So that's the purpose of me doing this video right now. It's very simple. Your local chief of police, your local sheriff, is the point person for the neighborhood watch program, community watch program, community policing program, which is prevalent across the nation in every municipality. Now, these organizations meet and organize and strategize usually in local independent churches, and these are black churches and white churches that operate as a non-profit religious organization, and as money pours into these churches, they're not held accountable by the federal government because of their 501(c) status of being a non-profit. So they enjoy a lot of anonymity in what they do with their money. This is fertile ground for criminal activity. So that's insane. These people, well, let me tell you, any so-called church that is not vocal about secret societies such as the Masons, I can tell you what you're dealing with is a fake church. Nothing about Christianity stands for anything. It stands abjectly against secret societies, and especially Freemasonry, the Eastern Star, and so forth. Now, we know that the Masons, people say, oh, they're good people. They say that the same thing about Mormons, and as far as we know, the Sasquatches and Yetis are good people as well. But none of that has anything to do with an organization that is positioned itself as a Christian or Protestant church and a place of fellowship and ministry, but yet they organize within these churches. This is where they get their, they're not getting scrutiny. So these churches, they're not vocal about that you're where Masons attend. And they're in all the churches, by the way. But this is where your Masonic deal comes in. They're essentially a dead, non-essential thing of the past. They've turned most Masonic, these grand Masonic halls and temples. Of course, they say it's not a religion. I can't, for the life of me, understand why they have temples if it's not a religion. But at any rate, they've turned them into pizza parlors and hair salons and apartment complexes and everything else. It is a non-effective thing of the past. Society has moved forward, not far enough. Granted, not far enough, because what we're experiencing now is one of the worst atrocities that could be happening in this world, and that is the violation and criminal acts against humanity. The main conduit is the absolute conduit that at one time was put in place as a refuge. These places have become fertile ground for people to take the law into their own hands and to systematically plan and deny civil and constitutional rights of Americans, and civil rights and liberties and against people worldwide. Thank you, American gang stalker, criminal, for this absolute cancer that must be stopped. Now, so going back, if you're trying to figure out who, your local community and neighborhood watch program is the gang stalking program. Make no mistake about it. The gang stalking program, they don't call it, they know what we call it, and what they call it are two different things. What they call trying to prevent crime before it happens by their tactics of stalking, hacking computers, breaking in their homes, and all of these gray areas that they think they're operating within are perfectly okay. They justify it because this program is controlled and monitored and directed and everything by the chiefs and sheriffs of local law enforcement. They work hand in hand with the federal government, Department of Homeland Security. It goes on and on and on. But there's your chain of command. There's your front line. I'll be posting some information a little later on about some of the churches and more individuals that are involved in this frontline criminal gang stalking. They believe that that they are impervious to any type of criminal or civil proceedings, because they themselves, of course, being the criminal, there's a lot at stake here. You've got to understand this. And what I'm saying and the implications that I'm making, this is not a conspiracy. This is not a thought or just a stab in the dark at what's going on with gang stalking. Friend, let me tell you, this is the undisputable, undeniable facts of criminal gang stalking, and your gang stalkers are coming directly out of your neighborhood and community watch programs. That is what it is. There are no limits to the crimes that they will commit, and they will go to great lengths to cover up these crimes. And then when you get ready to report anything, that they do. And remember, a lot of the crimes that they commit against you are done intentionally to get you to report it, to get you to go on record, to make you sound as if you're insane. So I caution you about those things. Do report and document and create that paper trail. You can rest assured that as in the past, nothing has been done about it. Our objective is to change that. Create the paper trail, and we're going to force their hand on it, and we're going to do it on a federal level. We have enough information in hand to convince a jury of 12 anywhere on this planet, even on other planets. That's not the issue here. The issue that we want is for every targeted individual to focus on what I've just mentioned. Now you know where the gang stalkers are. If you don't know where your the meeting places are, and for your neighborhood watch program, call the police department, call the sheriff's department, and just tell them, I'm new to this area. You may want to block your number or something, because they know who's calling. But at any rate, and just and say, I'd like to be proactive and protecting and looking out for my community. Can you recommend who I need to talk with? And they'll promptly guide you exactly who you need to speak with, and point you in the right direction. There you go. It's that simple. If now you've got your homework, ladies and gentlemen, and once you're given that, believe me, your eyes and the scales will fall off, and you will see exactly. Now, so try to stay off the narrative of, and they won't interject this. And this is Stalker 101. They always try to change the narrative. It's the Masons. It's a criminal gang. It's the mafia. It's a this. It's a that. I just told you what it is. So please, I would appreciate, and I get a lot of comments and messages from people that will come back. I do not want to argue this point that I just made. I'm not going to argue this point. It's not open for discussion. It is that is already finished science. So that is not the point. That is a narrative change. That is stalker speech. And let me tell you, messaging me and trying to convince me something other than what I just said simply tells me that the chances are very good that I'm dealing with a perpetrator. Now, I would strongly advise not to do that. And we're going to leave it at that. You can take that somewhere else. I've been a target since 2006. And like all the other targeted individuals, I'm fed up with it. I'm tired of it. And I'm pissed off. So make no mistake about it. This is not the playground for perpetrators or some harebrained scheme of trying to knock us off point. Now, I've given you all your information, so you shouldn't be. I shouldn't be getting comments. Well, I just don't know how. I don't see mine. They're in my ear. They've hit me with an implant. Take that somewhere else. Take it somewhere else. I'm talking to the people. They're big stalked. The cars, the people, the crazy crap every time you go out in public. They refuse to let you have a job. They're trying to force you into homelessness. They've screwed around with your house. They've broken into your house, screwed around with your vehicle, so forth and so on. You know who I'm talking to. Those who I'm talking to. Now, I told you how to start your homework, where to go, and get some photographs. get those names, get that information, and everything will start making sense. Now, it's not just the local churches, but they're a stronghold. They're a stronghold. They also organize at volunteer fire departments, and I would venture to say probably at American Legion halls. So it's several places along that line that still operate with this nonprofit organization status that enjoys almost zero scrutiny. But one angle that they cannot cover up or hide is the fraud, the paper trail they've created with what they're doing with their money, because what they're doing with their money, and they get this tax exempt status. They've defrauded the federal government and the taxpayers out of millions and millions of dollars. And let me tell you, folks, we're going to take this nasty, dirty, filthy, criminal, deplorable, moronic, evil organization to its knees. We only do this by pulling together, working as one, getting on the same page. Compile this data, get it to us. We're working on it. Till next time, God bless you.